What is going on, everybody? This is Yes I Read That, and today I'm reviewing Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. Kafka on the Shore. This was a weird one, but a really good one. This is the first book I ever read by Murakami, and I didn't really know what to expect. It's definitely very surreal. It's kind of dreamlike at times. It is also emotional at times, but I'm going to unpack this later. I'm going to talk a bit about the content of the book and the story, but no spoilers, and then tell you about my likes and dislikes and my score for the book. And after that, I'm going to talk a bit about a few spoilery things because I really want to talk about them, and there's so much in this book. But anyways, let's start with the story. Alright, so the beginning of the story is about Kafka Tamura, how he calls himself. He left his old name behind and he is running away from home on his 15th birthday. We don't really know why in the beginning. His life seems to be okay. He seems to be in good conditions, but we don't really know anything. We just know that he had to get away for some reason. He also seems to have psychological problems like the multiple personality disorder, because he sometimes talks to a boy called Crow who seems to be himself. So Kafka seems to be a kind of broken and just a person who has problems. And the other main character in this book is called Nakata. Nakata is an old man who also has problems because in an incident that was long ago, he basically became very dumb and he cannot read or write. He lives on a subsidy by the government and he earns a little bit of extra money by rescuing lost cats because he can actually talk to cats for some reason. So the story follows Kafka Tamura, the 15-year-old boy who runs away from home to Shikoku. So this book plays in Japan, and I think Kafka Tamura, he lives in Tokyo. Both of them live in Tokyo, and he runs away from home. He eventually ends up on Shikoku, which is an island in Japan, and he meets new people there. He meets new people in a local library, and basically that's where his story continues. I'm not gonna go any further to avoid spoilers. And it also follows Nakata on the mission to rescue one cat, where he, well, first we see him, discovering clues where it is, and later it leads to something else that I'm also not going to spoil. But eventually both of these plot strings get intertwined, and both of the characters are going to be important, but I won't spoil anything. I'm going to talk about spoiler things after giving my score, so if you didn't read the book, don't worry, no spoilers. Alright, so let's talk about my likes, or I guess more about my general reception of the book. And my initial reaction when finishing was I really just didn't know how. There was so many different aspects, ideas. But let's start with the simple stuff. So what I really enjoyed was Nakata, the character himself, and his storyline. Even if I didn't really know what was going on in the rest of the book, I could always kind of root for him because he just seemed like a genuinely nice person, even if he didn't really understand the world that well, but maybe exactly because of that. And there's also a truck driver he meets later on that is also a really cool character, and I really enjoyed that one as well. Overall, I have to say I enjoyed a lot of the characters. Almost all of them were weird or had problems in some ways, which was interesting, but I still enjoyed them. There are so many references in this book. There are references to mythology. Oh, by the way. There are so many references in this book. There are references to mythology, music, other books, like everything. And the characters in this book interpret the references in their own way, which was really interesting. I haven't read something like that anywhere before. And yeah, that was one aspect in the book that was new to me, and also really, I don't know, I think that's something that more books should do, or something I really enjoyed. So yeah, that was really cool. The whole book is very surreal. I said that before, but it's extremely surreal. It is very unique in that way. I don't know, I don't think a lot of other books are like this, and from what I've read afterwards, this is something central to the works of Murakami, that they are very surreal, maybe even dreamlike, and he mixes reality with supernatural aspects, and you just get something very interesting and unique. It kind of interweaves like reality and unrealistic things, like possible and impossible stuff, and some of the themes in this book are memory, dreams, and love. He uses like fantastic elements to change how these work, and it's just something that you've never read about before, and it's very interesting. And one of the essential themes is also the search for the other half of your person or character, the search for your, maybe the love of your life or the person you really belong to. So characters seem incomplete or broken in a way, and their other half would be the one that makes them complete and makes them happy, and I think that's also a very interesting theme. The writing style in this book is very simple, but it's still engaging, and I think it's also interesting because the writing style is such a contrast. It's so simple, but the concepts in the book and the content is just so complicated and so unique, so surreal, that it's a big contrast, and it makes the book even more engaging and interesting. All right, my dislikes. I don't really have an issue with the book. Something you might criticize is that it is so surreal and so different that you won't really get explanations. You will have more questions when you finish the book than when you started reading. And on the one hand, that's cool and interesting, but on the other hand, that's kind of infuriating as well. But it provokes you to think about it yourself. And it's definitely not a book that you will forget so soon. The only real issue I had was that some of the stuff in this book is pretty disgusting, and I really mean that. I'm not usually someone who's easily shocked, but some of the stuff in this book, it's sexual and also like violent or just disgusting, and I'm going to talk about it in the spoiler section, but if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, I'm not sure. I mean, so many people seem to enjoy this book, but it is really I mean, it's supposed to shock you, but it's pretty disgusting nonetheless. It gets very gritty and ugly. But yeah, that's the only real issue I had with the book, and the scenes are relatively minor, although one important plot string in the book is pretty disgusting, to be honest, but okay. So my overall score for the book, that was very hard to do because I didn't really know how to rate it. On the one hand, it was very gripping and I couldn't really stop reading because it was so interesting to me, but on the other hand, some of the stuff is really weird and really surreal and then disgusting or gritty, and on the other hand provoking, and you have all these themes and references. So overall I gave the book a 7 out of 10, but that's really just very hard to do. It's an insane book. It has so many ideas, so many themes, so many references, so many concepts. I don't really know what to make of it yet. If you're up for something very unique and crazy and interesting, then go for it. It's a very well-known book and it's something very unique. It's something contemporary as well, or at least I think it is. All of these aspects are mashed together into one big story. Everything is here in these ideas and characters, and you don't really know where to start unpacking the book. I definitely feel like it's something special. I feel like I want to read other books by the author, by Murakami, and overall I enjoyed it and it was gripping, but it was just so different. It's hard to describe. So yeah, that's that. If you enjoyed the video so far, leave a like, because I'm gonna go into spoilers now, so if you didn't read the book yet, make sure to turn it off. Okay, so the first weird thing is, who is Kafka's father? He is so weird. How is he predicting all of this? How did he know that all of this was going to happen? Because he told Kafka before. And why does he eat the hearts of cats? That was so disgusting. And how does he make a flute of the souls of cats? What is going on in this book? I was really, what? And then what is the thing in the end inside Nakata when he's dead? He has this weird I don't even know what is going on. I really don't know if there's an interpretation for all of this stuff. I mean, I was at some points I was really grossed out. Then there's Colonel Sanders, who's a pimp in some town in Japan. Like, what is going on? This is so weird, and it's so surreal. You just have to accept everything that is going on in this book, and it's interesting, but it is so weird. But yeah, the stuff that really threw me off is the scene when Nakata was watching the father eat like the hearts of the cats. That was so ugly, and the police officer who heard the story that Nakata told him, I feel really sorry for him, because that shit is just unbelievable. And the other thing that threw me off was the like Kafka having sex with his mother and also his sister, and his mother, I don't know, that was, I mean, you could see it coming, but his sister, that was so weird, and the scene itself where it happened was like, I don't know, it was, well, yeah. I think if you read the book, you know what I mean, and I didn't really, I mean, the whole book is just so weird, but also interesting. Like, the scenes where Nakata and the trucker, oh my god, what was his name? It doesn't matter. The scenes where they were driving down to Shikoku and, you know, just Nakata sleeping all the time, or just how he spontaneously knew where to go and just going with the flow. That seems so wholesome, but then I don't know. It's so weird. It has so many different aspects mashed into this one book, but very interesting and engaging nonetheless. So I really enjoyed it overall, but also it's so weird. It's so hard to put into words what this book is really doing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna read other books by Murakami, not now because like I need a little bit of break and then I can appreciate them more again, but I'm definitely going to do that. And yeah, I don't know. If you read the book, let me know what you thought in the comments below. This was a really crazy one, and I'm curious to see what your thoughts about it. If there are there like interpretations or theories or something? I don't know. I have to read up on that actually. But yeah, those were my impressions. So if you liked the video, make sure to drop a like. Maybe sub to this channel. Definitely sub to this channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye!